Alright, so we are at the range with the Palmetto State Armory Dagger full size S, basically a Glock 45 clone. We got the DPP titanium plate on there, and we got the Holocene EPS. We are pretty much on at 10 yards, as you can see right there. What I'm gonna do is, we're gonna do a grouping in that middle X spot. We're gonna do ahead and do a stand-up grouping. 10 yards. Then we're going to move over to 124 grain HST. Then we're going to get our final zero with the 135 grain critical duty. I think we are on at 10 yards with this 115 grain Winchester full metal jacket. But I want to make sure before we start shooting the good stuff. Let me pause the video and load up this magazine. Alright, we're going to do 17 shots standing, unsupported. And we're going to try to see if we got a good tight grouping with the 115 grain Winchester full metal jacket. Alright, so reading our target, look like we need to maybe come up one click, maybe up 2 clicks, one over to the right. Let me make that adjustment and we'll shoot it again. Alright, so we're going to be aiming at that bottom right target. Bottom right target. I pulled that shit. I think we're good for now. Let's get a new target up and let's move over to the 124 grain HST. That should hold a little bit more better grouping. Alright, so we got a new target up. This is what we're going to do with this target. We're going to move over to the 124 grain HST. You're going to be aiming in that bottom left target. We're going to work off the bag. I got 7 rounds loaded. We're going to go through them 7 rounds. Try to get us a good tight zero with the 124 grain HST. Then we're moving up to the 135 grain critical duty, which will actually be my carry load. So basically we're working our way up in grains. We start off with the 115 grain full metal jacket to get us in the general area. Now we're going with the 124 grain HST to kind of tune it up a little bit. Then we're going to move over to our carry load, 135 grain critical duty. Shooting off of the bag. Well, I think we on. I pulled that one. Look like we might have to break this gun in too. Ever since I got that Glock parts kit in here, we've been having stovepipes and yeah, on the last round, having stovepipes. Might gotta break this thing in a little bit. But as you can see with the 124 grain HST, we are good to go. So I got 2, 4, 6, 8 more rounds of the HST. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a standing grouping, standing precision, and we're gonna work in that top left target. Let me pause and load this magazine up. All right, standing precision. Let's go ahead and verify. We got a good tight zero at 10 yards with the 124 grain. Then we're moving on to the 135 grain critical duty. Then that'll be the end of the range day. We did what we needed to do.
Trigger. Oh, is it Jeep, is it? Yeah, it's his trigger. Jeep. Thank you much. Thank you much.
Alright, I think we good to go. Let's go ahead and move on to the 135 grain. Alright, so what we're going to do with the 135 grain critical duty, we're going to work top right target. And we're going to shoot off, no, matter of fact, we're going to do bottom right target, and we're going to shoot from off of the bag. All right, I think we are good to go. How many rounds I got left? We got about 6 more rounds of the critical duty 135 grain. We're gonna go ahead and do those center target, standing unsupported. All right, standing unsupported 135 grain critical duty, 10 yards. Let's verify we got a good tight zero. Another stove pipe. Alright, I think we're good to go. We're gonna do one more quick little volley, then that'll be the end of this range day. Alright, so we back at 10 yards. We're going back to the 115 grain Winchester full metal jacket. And this is gonna be our end of the day volley. Let's go ahead and warm that barrel up a little bit. I want to go back to that circle dot now. I done got everything zilled on just the single dot. Let's go back to the circle dot now. And that is the end of our range day. Let's head to the house because we got a few little things we need to talk about.